swung and ripped to right. There's a base hit. Hitting third, coming for home, Ramirez. He will score, and the Guardians are headed to October. And yes, Cleveland, for the 14th time since 1995, you will have an October to remember.
I want to hear the music. I don't care. I love it. I absolutely love it. Woo! Absolutely. Well, if you missed the beginning of that clip, Straub played you the audio from our guy, Tommy Hamilton. Welcome to the Straub Bro Sports Show. Off the top of the show, forget the introduction. Your Cleveland Guardians, walk-off win, clinch a playoff appearance for the 14th time since 1995. Whoo! That's how you get started, baby. Welcome to the Straub Bro Sports Show. Big bro here, Ken, with little bro Drew. Little bro, how you doing?
Listen, it's been an amazing 24 hours. Obviously, you can tell. Guardians walked it off. We're going to the playoffs. We got match number is 3 in terms of division, clinching the division. And I want to shout out the Warning went to their concert last night. Absolutely kicked ass last night. Really, really good. So been a great 24 hours for me.
Absolutely. 2 walk-off wins in a row. Shout out to my Carhartt. All right. Shout out to my beautiful Carhartt Guardians hat. Making an appearance on the show. I got to get that off, though. I mean, that's an exciting, less than 24 hours if you're a Guardians fan. But welcome to the Straub Bro Sports Show. Let's get into the good stuff first. Here on the 216 Sports Network, where you can find all of us. 4th and 15 with Mel and Smooth, the Jay Rich Show, which is coming back soon as basketball gets ready to get rolling. The Rulers Minute with Rico McGee, Outside Interference, and the Straub Bro Sports Show. Where can you find the Straub Bro Sports Show? Everywhere. You can find us on X at Straub Bro Sports. You can find us on TikTok at the SBSS, on Instagram, Straub Bro Sports Show, and on Spotify, once again, Straub Bro Sports Show. Big shout out to my guy Austin at Create Your Own Wave 2021. Make sure you follow them on Instagram. Make sure you don't ride the wave, create your own. Make sure you follow them and get your apparel. CYOWapparel.myshopify.com. My man dropped some hoodies this week, and they might be the best thing he's done so far. And I pretty much tell him that every time he makes something, because every time he makes something, it looks better and better. So shout out to my guy Austin there. Excuse me. And as always, every week, we want to give a big shout out to our guys at the Falls Rapids. I've got breaking news. I know Woj retired, but the breaking news doesn't stop. Ladies and gentlemen, not only will me and Straub, Andrew, be working with the Rapids and doing some interviews. I'm going to have my first set of interviews this Saturday when I go to the lift session. But as of last night, I've worked a lot. I worked very hard and long hours on this. But as of last night, it is official. The Straub Bro Sports Show is now the official broadcast team of the Falls Rapids. All preseason games, all regular season games, a little special one at the very end of the season too. We will be there. So if you like us, if you rock with us and you like how we do things, if you were over on the Instagram page or you've caught on the 216 page, the stuff that we did with Akron City, kind of our halftime shows and our post-game shows, our pre-game shows that we kind of went back and forth with, that's the kind of stuff that you're going to get from me and Drew. Definitely super excited about this. Shout out to my guy Daniel, who's probably and I'm not just blowing smoke because we're doing this, but probably one of the most professional and awesome people I've worked with this since we've started this entire thing back in October. Me and you, we're coming up on a year of the podcast, a year of us doing this, and I'm excited about this. And come on now, spread the wave. Create your own wave. We've already got tie-ins. This is a match made in heaven. So Thank you, Mama, for the congratulations. But yes, coming up when their season starts, Straub Sports Show, the official broadcast team of the Rapids. Drew, your thoughts?
I mean, listen, I'm excited. This is something that obviously we've talked a lot about and worked out a lot of stuff. We still obviously have a lot of things to kind of understand and keep going. But it honestly, that part is all just layers on the cake. I am so excited to start this adventure. This seems like an amazing opportunity. And we are just thankful that we're able to kind of do something like this because it's absolutely fantastic.
Blessed. This, like I said, we're not even a year old. You know, the Straub Sports Show is not even a year old, and we didn't even have an official name when we started. So the Straub Sports Show technically isn't even close to a year old. And we're trying. So thankfully, thank you to the Rapids for bringing us in. The 216 Sports Network will be your exclusive home to those games. So make sure you like and subscribe to the 216 Sports Network. We'll make sure it's everywhere for you to see and make it easy to follow. But follow us there because that's where you will catch us doing those games. So that is absolutely Rapids in the Straub Sports Show until the wheels fall off. We riding, baby. Let's roll. Let's ride that wave. So with that being said, let's move into the news. Let's get into the show. We were going to start with the news, but we're scrapping that. We'll get to the news in a second. We're starting with the Guardians. Off rip, don't care, changing it around. As we mentioned off the top of the show, Straub, you can play the audio again. I don't even care. The Guardians have clinched a playoff spot. They now look to kind of turn it in and lock up that division, potentially lock up first place in the AL. All goals still. I know that's a tougher one, but let's get that division locked up. Let's talk about our Guardians, man.
Yeah, listen, this was kind of the biggest series down the stretch. You had a division rival that was not breathing down your neck like Kansas City, but was definitely still there. And you took 3 or 4, and that's absolutely what you need. Back-to-back walk-off victories, which really kind of breathed some life into not even just the players, but the fan base, saying that they are ready for October here.
Not just walk-offs, and I want to give my guy Nick a shout-out to this because he was the one who mentioned it earlier. Walk-offs from guys you weren't necessarily expecting it from.
Absolutely.
The guys with,
and so that's
clutch hits last night from Rocchio, and somebody else. And then today, I can't remember which part. Listen, man, it was late. And then today with Jimenez being the one, like you're getting hits and clutch hits from all over the lineup.
Yeah. If you're going to cut me off there, come with the names. That's all I'm saying.
Sorry.
No, but listen, this is fantastic. This is exactly what we need going down the stretch in the playoff race. You got 2 not easy, but very winnable series in St. Louis and Cincinnati. And then if those go your way, you really don't have to do that much against Houston because Houston's the one in 3rd. They're the one that's going to be kind of the only one challenging for that 2nd seed in the playoffs, which will get you out of the wild card. And so that is the big series that you might not even have to be well if you take care of these 2 series. And obviously, you want to get the 1 seed. You want to kind of challenge the Yankees there. But those first 2 seeds are the ones that matter the most there. And I think as long as you take care of business in these next 2 series, and then you don't just fall off against Houston, and you don't make it close enough where if you fall off against Houston, you're going to be fine, and you're going to get a top 2 seed in the playoffs, and that's exactly what we're hoping for.
100%. I just don't want to see us stumbling going into the playoffs. That scares me. I want to be out of that 1 or 2 seed because I do not want to turn around and play another divisional opponent immediately in the wild card. I don't like how that smells. But I'm excited, man. I really am. The hitting is coming along. My graphics are just wasteful this week because there was 2 games that happened in a span of 24 hours that finished that didn't get this updated. But the problem with this is, as you see at the top of the lineup, and one of the things I was hammering all year is when you start to see Jose Ramirez, David Fry, Steven Kwan at the top of this list, they're going to be rolling. And then Steven Kwan landed on the DL. So that's tough. We hope he gets his back right. We hope he's ready to go for the playoffs. I don't think that man should touch a field until he is 100% ready to go. Long-term future there. But I mean, these guys are coming along and they're hitting. We're getting clutch hits. Obviously, Jimenez and all of those, some of those guys are from today. those numbers are going to go up. But I mean, we're taking care of business. We're hitting the ball. We're getting hot when it matters. Switching over to what we've been talking about, the American League here. Like I said, this isn't completely updated because there's no X over there by the Guardians, but we got one of those. But as you see in this wild card race is really heating up too, because now that Tigers margin is actually moved up now too. So to even out. So it's going to come down to all 162.
Yeah, and I would say what the nice thing is, I can give you a quick little preview because I can bring it up on my phone. We're a game back in New York. Technically, we have 2 more losses than them, and so we'll see what happens there. But we're the same on win total. We're 6 ahead of Houston. So like I said, you take care of business in the 3 games against St. Louis and then the 2 games against Cincinnati. You could have a series where if you get swept, you don't want to, obviously, but even if you get swept, you have the 2 seed. And so that's very, very crucial there. But even going back to the slugging thing there, obviously, you have guys lower on the list like Noel and Lane Thomas and Manzardo who are down there, but they're coming in when it matters. Manzardo, home run today and a 2-run home run last night to kind of get us back into it. And then with Noel, even though he's not hitting as many home runs as maybe he was when he first came up, he's getting base hits. He's getting walks. And that's kind of what you need off of guys, especially when they're coming in off of, a rookie year. You are going to hit the ball a ton, especially when you were a guy like Noel. But what happens when those home runs slow down? Can you continue to still get on base and make impactful plays when you're not hitting home runs? And that's exactly what we're looking in. And this is absolutely fantastic, kind of culminating coming in. And even guys like in who's 10th, Andres Jimenez, that walk-off is going to do wonders for his confidence coming down the stretch. And it's kind of all coming together. And if I'm going to be honest, this whole season, I've kind of been a little wary on them just because it didn't seem like a team built for the postseason. But maybe it's because the playoffs are so near, but they're slowly but surely kind of turning me around and getting me excited to watch this team in October.
Come October, when it starts to be sweaty palms time, do you really want to have to pitch to Jose Ramirez and then Josh Naylor and then Manzardo and then Yansky? No. Somebody's going to get a hit there, and somebody might take you deep. I mean, Josh Naylor had 2 home runs last night. So, the man was on fire, and I thought he was going to walk it off with a third. And you want to talk about just in terms of clutch, Rocchio has been clutch, and his defense is effing phenomenal as well. Every time the ball is hit, I just feel like at some point he's going to get there. I don't care where it's hit. So he has been. Lane Thomas deserves a major shout out because he was getting nothing but slack and smack and everything in the world from Guardians fans, and that man has turned it around and has been hitting the ball and hitting with some power. That's the other thing. We got him to hit with some power, and he has been. I mean, he's currently leading the team this week, or right there at the top second in slugging. If you take Quan out too, but I mean, I'm in love with this. And here I'm gonna switch over to the pitching side for a second because I got something I need to get off my chest. Okay. The hitting has been clutch and all of that. We're on track to win this division. We're on track to be a great ball club that comes with great pitching. Pitchers who have won the Cy Young. It is time for the national media and for Major League Baseball to get off of this whole starters have to win the Cy Young. Emmanuel Clase is the Cy Young winner, and here's why. He has a .65 ERA right now. He has only given up 5 runs total the entire year. 2 home runs, only 8 walks, and 63 strikeouts. That was 2 days ago. I do believe it's up to 65 now. He has a .065 whip. Drew can explain that later. He has 45 saves to lead the majors, the 4th lowest ERA in a season of 50-plus pitched innings in MLB history, and he is looking to become the first pitcher to lead Major League Baseball in saves 3 consecutive years since saves became an official stat in 1969. Oh, not to mention, he has 2 months throughout this season, in which he had a 0 ERA. He is also doing it on a team that is winning, putting him in a position to constantly have to pitch because we run him out there every night if we can. And he's on a team that is on track to not just win, but win their division and possibly be the top seed in the American League. There is no way. I did mention that 8 walks the entire year. There's no way this man is not second. I believe he should win the Cy Young. Shout out to my guy Ray for sparking that up for me this week.
Yeah, no, listen. Oh, by the way, whip, for those that don't know, it's basically how well a pitcher can keep base runners off. It's walks and hits added together, divided by total innings pitched. So there you go. But no, listen, I agree with you. I think this is a historic season in terms of any kind of closer or any kind of pitcher. This is, like I said, this is Mariano Rivera territory. This is top closing seasons of all time territory.
It's better.
However, I'm playing the other side here. It is basically like any other position but a quarterback trying to win the Heisman. You have to, and he has done it. You have to be absolutely far and beyond better than anybody else as a pitcher if you are not a starter to win the Cy Young. Not saying he hasn't, not saying that he doesn't have a chance because of his numbers, but if we get to the race and you see a starting pitcher win this, it's just because he's a closer.
I think this is the other case that I have for this, because I'm glad you brought this up. No one else is having a year that deserves consideration right now, in my opinion.
Scooball's having a really good year.
Who?
Scooball from Tigers, Detroit.
The Tigers, a team scrapping to try to win the wild card. Yep, I got you. I mean, it's some, but this is my point for Clase. Like, he isn't a starting pitcher who's going once every 5 days. He's a guy going 3 days out of 5 in a week, 5 out of 7, getting you, helping closing the door on those wins. If somebody else, if Ohtani was pitching, we wouldn't be having this conversation. If somebody else for the Yankees or the Brewers, or obviously that's National League, but if for somebody else for the Yankees or somebody like that was having a lights out year, man, I would get you that. And I want to give, and this is her first comment, so I want to give Anna a shout out. She works with the Rapids, so thank you for checking in. Thank you for rocking in with us. But yes, the best of the best, man.
I get it. And let me just, so the issue is like maybe School might not be having like a historic year, but he's 17-4, which is tied for first in the MLB. Has a 2.48 ERA, which is second in the MLB. He's 221 strikeouts, which is first in the MLB, and has a .94 WHIP, which is a second in the MLB. I get that he's not having this like Steven Strasburg type of year, but he's also leading every pitcher in almost every statistical category, which does kind of hurt Class A's chance. And like I said, I agree with you. I don't like the same with the Heisman. I don't believe it should just be a quarterback award. I don't believe the Cy Young should just be a starting pitcher award. But nobody else agrees with us, and though nobody else is going to agree with us just because we sound like we're homers here.
That's not even Class A, but it doesn't matter to me. Okay, I could care less. As I knock everything over to get this back in like I always do. I understand what you're saying. I don't care. Give it to Emmanuel Clase. All right. Now that we moved our Guardians out of the way, I want to talk some football. You ready to talk some football? Let's talk some football because my news had to deal with some football. So to start off, let's get the news out of the way. The Chiefs have reunited with Kareem Hunt as they have placed Isaiah Pacheco on injured reserve. That's a tough one. Thank you, Dad, for closing that one out. But that was all. Listen,
back in my day,
Eckersley and Gagne. Hey, listen, Gagne is not back in your day. Nick has footy news. So we will. I can't wait to see what that is. That is amazing. You're right. But the Chiefs have reunited with Kareem Hunt. I mean, okay. Listen, he's probably going to look great. I'm not even going to lie. Like, let's not even be surprised here. But he is getting a little older. The carries are starting to, hang in, but he also didn't have to go through the preseason. So that also helps there. And a not so good one. The Dolphins have placed Tua Tagovailoa on injured reserve to seek an independent neurologist to to take a look at him after another concussion. Nick, I did see that news. I was going to mention it, but I'm glad you brought it up. I will mention that here in a second. I did read that. It's great news. Let me just put it like this, and this is what I'm going to say for this Tua news, and then we can move on to the games. I'm going to just say basically what I posted on Facebook. Tua, please retire. Please go home and be with your family before you are not able to actually function and be with your family. All right, go hang out, go have kids, go run around with your kids. I don't know if he actually has kids. But just please, like this, you got your money. If I'm the NFL, I would just guarantee him the rest of his contract, let him walk away. Like I know the game is physical. I know concussions are a part of the game. I know all of that. We're going to watch this man die on the field, or we're going to watch him stroke out and be permanently handicapped on the field. And I won't watch football. I'm not even going to lie to you. I won't watch the NFL. I don't want to see this anymore. I can't. We're literally watching the man seize on the field when he takes hits. He can't take hits. Please. This is bigger than football, man. This is way more important.
Yeah. It's one of those situations where everyone knows the right decision and everyone knows what should happen. Unfortunately, with the player and the team and the NFL, there's a lot of incentive to continue playing. Not saying it's a good incentive, not saying it's the right thing to do, but in terms of obviously the NFL and Miami, you have an amazingly talented quarterback that gives you a chance to win and make the league look good. And in terms of Tua, you have a player who has worked his entire life to get to where he is right now. And unlike a shoulder injury or a knee injury, you have a week and you're good to go. And you feel fine, but you're not. And that's the big issue here.
Yeah.
Is that you have all of these factors trying to push against the decision that you know is right. And that's to just take your health as important as it is and don't play again.
Yeah. And Nick pointed this out, and so I want to bring it up because it is a good point. Maybe the Guardian helmet, because it is likely that Tua is going to want to come back. So if you don't know what those Guardian helmets are, there's you've seen them possibly. They're a larger helmet that kind of goes over top of the helmet, and basically the way I explained it, and I think it's a good explanation. Imagine if you were to just stand up and just drop on your hip on your side on the floor. That would hurt. Now, do that, but jump onto your bed. It's not going to hurt. That's what the Guardian cap is basically supposed to kind of do. When the head hits the ground and it rattles, it is supposed to stop that rattle. It's supposed to absorb a lot of that kind of the bed absorbing your blow. It's supposed to absorb that so the brain doesn't rattle around in his skull. Here's the problem. I don't even know if that would help. He didn't even take that hard of a hit, and he still scrambled himself. So I'm with Craig here, and that's how I'll end it. Take your millions and go live life on the beach. That the one that you already live by. So, all right, dude, let's get it. Throw up the scores. Let's get to NFL Week 2. I want to get this out of the way. It was a tough one for me, but we kicked off Thursday night with that unfortunate play, but the Bills did end up winning that game. They were in control of that game even before Tua got hurt. Your Brownies got off on the right foot, got back on the right foot, I should say, with a victory. The Ravens, we got to give them a shout out for blowing another game consecutively, back-to-back weeks. The Jets got on the winning side. I think you're upset. The Vikings took out San Francisco this week. Sam Darnold, welcome back, man. He is absolutely lighting it up. The Panthers continue to be bad. They have now benched Bryce Young in favor of the Red Rifle Andy Dalton. I have no idea what the hell is that going to do, unless you're just trying to stop him from getting hurt because your team is so bad. The Seahawks prevailed over the Patriots in overtime. Next slide. My Cowboys got demolished. The Saints have scored on every drive so far. in the first 2 weeks in the first 2 weeks of the NFL season.
That's
You need
insane.
Yeah, that is. You need to update your heading, by the way. But that's okay.
Oh, yeah.
That ain't no worries.
Actually, you know what's funny? You know what's funny? Oh, no, okay. I swear I changed it, but
hey, no worries. But yeah, my Cowboys got absolutely drubbed. And here, take notes. I've said it from the get-go. You have to be able to run the ball on my defense. If you run the ball on my defense, we're beyond vulnerable and you can control the game. The Saints look dangerous. Washington and the Giants, what an awful game that was. Washington did prevail. Baker touchdown maker is 2-0. Green Bay, Malik Willis getting his first NFL career win with a win over the Colts. Arizona thrashed LA 41-10. The Steelers continue to grind out the ugliest wins that you will see in the history of the NFL as they move to 2-0. The Bengals almost had the Chiefs. Almost had them. And then they allowed the refs to be in the game, which you know was going to happen there as Harrison Buckner kicked a game-winning field goal that Taylor Swift celebrated. I just wanted to point that out. That was kind of funny. And the Texans took care of the Bears. And then on Monday night, the Eagles were almost there, and then they blew it and allowed Kirk Cousins on a game-winning drive with less than 2 minutes left as the Falcons get their first win. Yeah, you get your hey out of here, you Pittsburgh Steelers fan, with your awful quarterback play, still winning games with that great defense. Yeah. Drew, what stood out for you in week 1?
We'll get to the Browns last. I will say, honestly, my first 2 ones that I noticed here, the Giants become the first team in NFL history to lose a game. I think it's when they scored 3 times and the other team scored 0 touchdowns.
Yes.
Absolutely ridiculous, and only the Giants can do that.
Those were all field goals, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. All 21 points were all field goals.
Yeah, so if you had Washington's kicker, congratulations. You probably won your fantasy league.
Unless you're our leagues that don't have kickers, Craig.
As for the Chiefs and the Bengals, yeah, listen, the Bengals played well. But unfortunately, listen, everyone likes to say that the Chiefs always get the calls, which you can debate here and there. But I think what the more accurate thing is when they get those calls, they score. Yes. And they don't waste them. And I think that's what everyone's pissed off about. Bengals had him. It was fourth down. It was an incomplete pass. You hit them early. You gave them a free first down, and they took advantage of it. That's on the Bengals. So yeah,
I agree.
Absolutely awful behavior. And we'll go back because I do want to talk about it. I don't think I've ever been so upset after a win in my life. It was 15-13, and you decide to, for some reason, I'm sorry, you absolutely flub your first attempt as you get down the end zone. Obviously, it was a face mask on Dante Foreman, which isn't, I would say, the head coaching's fault. And then back-to-back holding penalties, which puts you just absolutely out of contention whatsoever. But then a fantastic punt, and then a proceeding a safety. Absolutely fantastic. Loved it. And then we get the ball back. And then we proceed to, on 3rd and 5, with a minute and a half left, pass the ball when the Jaguars had no timeouts and throw an incompletion and gave them somewhat of a chance to come back and do this and complete the comeback. I'm happy with the win. But what you said before with Kevin Stefanski reminding you of Jason Garrett in terms of these kind of late game situations is absolutely killing me right now because it's so accurate.
Yeah, your coach is going to blow you some close games and some clutch games coming down the stretch. I believe so for sure. And I kind of agree with Daniel. I think the Jaguars definitely took a step back, but I think because your offense was able to be competent, your defense showed what it can do. That's the sad part. You can score 18-21 and win games because your defense is that good if you have drives that allow them to you put points on the board, them take a breather, them attack, especially you taking a lead. But yeah, for sure. So that is last week. Let's roll to this week as he still has week 1 up. This week, tonight we have the Patriots and the Jets. Listen, I'm just gonna put this. I'm tired of all these damn Steelers fan. All of a sudden, we got
no. He's saying the bad offense with the good defense.
Oh yeah, definitely the Steelers. We've got Patriots Jets on Thursday night. Listen, I'm just gonna be honest about this. Now that the season has actually started, I hate Thursday night games. They're awful. The quality of play is terrible. It's not on the players. It's on the NFL for running these guys out on a Thursday when they all played on a Sunday. I like the Jets tonight. Listen, man, as long as Aaron Rodgers is healthy, I'm going to probably favor the Jets most week. I'm not going to lie. I don't think the Patriots have enough. I think they're going to come out and play hard, play good defense. Jets at home, though, different ball game. Give me the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would pick the Jets too. I would say 92% of me is like, yeah, Jets, Aaron Rodgers at home, good defense, bang. 8% of me is like, it's the Jets. Something's going to happen, and the Patriots are going to win 28-10. And you're going to be like, oh, okay, makes sense.
Right, something stupid happens. We've got Jets at Browns this week, or Giants at Browns this week. You better not screw that up. We've got Bears at Colts, Texans at Vikings. The Eagles travel to New Orleans to take on the Saints. The Chargers will hopefully end this crappy streak from the Steelers and take care of them as long as Herbert is healthy. Broncos go and take on Baker and the Tampa Bay Bucks. Green Bay with Malik Willis again travel to take on his former team, Will Levis and the Titans. That should be a fun one. A battle of two young quarterbacks there. Watson thought we had the Jets too. Hey, I appreciate that, Nick. We've got Carolina at Oakland, Miami looking to do some different things at quarterback as they take on Seattle, Detroit at Arizona. The Baltimore Ravens come on into Dallas to take on my Cowboys. That should be a good game. I'm a little nervous about that one.
Taking the Mark Ingram over. Or not
what?
Mark Ingram. I said Mark Ingram. That doesn't make any
Derrick
sense.
Henry.
Derrick Henry over.
Yeah. The team who can run the ball on the defense, they can't stop the run. A little California matchup as the 49ers and the Rams go head-to-head. Kansas City takes on Atlanta in our Sunday night game. That should be a good matchup. And then Monday night, we've got a doubleheader. Jacksonville at Buffalo, Washington at Cincinnati. I like Cincinnati to take care of big business there. Them Bills on Monday night are tough too, especially in Buffalo. And it's going to start to get a little cold. It might even be snowing in Buffalo. Who even knows? But yeah, I mean, that'll be the question for the Cowboys-Ravens game, is exactly as Pop said. I can't get it up on the comment section, but which one of my boys will show up? Who knows? I got nothing. We'll see. I don't make predictions with my Cowboys. We are too up and down week to week for me to even sit here and be like, oh, I know which team's going to show up, because I really have no idea. So, all right, bro, let's give away some awards.
Yes.
It is time. Straub Bruh of the Week. Who was your bonehead?
So, I know you said them last week, but I feel like they've hit an even lower echelon this week, and that's Florida State. Not only are they the only winless power conference team, not only have they lost to 3 straight unranked teams, but they paid Memphis $1.3 million to beat them on their home field. Ken, how long has it been since a preseason top 10 team has been this bad?
Is this an actual question?
Yeah, because I can't think of one.
Oh, I didn't know if you had an answer. I was going to probably say there's probably a Notre Dame team in there somewhere that has crapped the bed at some point during the season. But, man, I don't know. Not even – and I think this comment just about sums it up. Just bruh. Bruh. And I know you saw that, Craig. I mean, dude, it's bad. And not only is it bad, they were supposed to be on this revenge tour. You started it too during the preseason. Florida State, mad they were left out. They were just done wrong by the committee, and we're coming back for. Maybe the committee was right all along.
Just okay, saying. Chill. It's a whole different team.
It is, and I will say this, and I'm gonna say it because I said it week 1. Mike Norvell got all the love in the world last year. You deserve all the criticism in the world because where are your recruits? Where is your reload? What happened? Because it looks bad and it looks awful and it doesn't look like it can be fixed right now. My Straub bro of the week. This is funny. To the entire Wake Forest football department. Yeah. Less than an hour after losing 40-6 to Ole Miss on Saturday, they paid a $1 million buyout clause to cancel next year's game against Ole Miss. And when I say immediately, before Lane Kiffin got to the post-game press conference, he already had the news that they had canceled the game, now leaving Ole Miss without a non-conference top or a Power 5 school, leaving them in peril, trying to find one for next year as soon as possible, or potentially having to petition the SEC for an exemption. But Wake Forest, like, if you I get it. You took a drubbing. Ole Miss is good. This is what they've been doing to everybody. Take your ass whooping, come back next year on your home field and get it done. That just you're more than a Straub bro of the week. I was really disappointed in that. All right, enough of the boneheads. All right, Straub bro of the week, your honorary Straub bro of the week, presented to you by Create Your Own Wave Apparel. Don't ride the wave, create your own wave, and become a Straub bro of the week. Man, that was clean, bro. Give it to me.
So Boise State was on a bye this week, so no Ashton Johnson watch. Cannot get him in there, but we did have basically a debut that I think we're also going to have to start watching week to week, and that is Arch Manning, quarterback of Texas. Can you have like 7? So I'm not upset that I took 1. Arch Manning in his debut off an injured Quinn Ewers. Hope he gets better. I've heard he might be out this week though. Went 9 for 12, 223 yards, and 4 touchdowns. That's through the air.
Mm-hmm.
On the ground, he had 3 rushes for 53 yards and a touchdown. If that's not one of the best debuts of recent memory, I don't know what is. That's absolutely fantastic. Absolutely whooped UTSA. And listen, now we said it was going to be hard to keep him off the field. Now it may be impossible.
100. They're gonna be, dude. They're gonna have to run dual quarterbacks. They have no choice at this point. I want to mention it was a 67-yard touchdown run. Hit that man with the shimmy. And then I mentioned hit some celebrations during the game. And hit him with some slime after. I'm on the Arch Manning train. I cannot believe we have seen this much skill. Well, not skill, but athleticism and swag from a Manning.
He can run in a Manning. It's wild.
Absolutely. There's a reason Peyton said that Arch was going to be the best of all of them. Now, I don't know what happens when he gets to the NFL, but damn, the hype is real. All right, so you stole my first one. So that was mine. I had Arch in there. I want to mention, and this is a good one, I'm bringing the footy to the Straub bro of the week. Shout out to the courts. The independent trial of Manchester City's 115 breaches of Premier League rules has begun. A big shout out to the court for taking those cheats to jail. Also, we have a quarterback with the last name of Wilson as Straub bro of the week. No, it ain't Russell. No, it isn't Zach. It's Zach's little brother, Isaac. Isaac Wilson, who came in relief of Cam Rising and led Utah to a 33-20 win over Utah State, 239 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. Shout out to little bro there for one up in big bro a little bit there. And lastly, because this is a personal one for me, and I saw this and I had to bring it up. My Straub bro of the week, my last one is my podcast mentor, Dan Lebitard, who across, I think it was 14 states for free, went out on a voter registration day, and 14,000 people had their voting either registered, updated, all kinds. They were driving people to have that done. 14,000 Americans registered or updated their voting preference or their voting things, stuff like that. That's amazing. Regardless, did it with no politics involved. There was no, he purposely made it so there was no Trump shirts. There was no Kamala. There was none of that. It was just independently getting people out there to be ready to vote. I think that is very, very important. Things are falling on me. Oh, and lastly, because I think we should say it, Woj retired. Veteran NBA reporter, Wojnarowski. He retired and took a job with St. Bonaventure College to be like a GM, help recruit, help be with the guys, and just basically to just do whatever he wants to run the program. That's how you retire. Shout out to you, Woj.
Yeah, I don't know how that's
Adrian
gonna work.
Wojnarowski. Adrian Wojnarowski. I forgot his first name. I apologize.
Yeah, I don't know how a GM role in college, it seems interesting, and also coming from a longtime reporter. But hey, listen, if man wants to go do random stuff and do side quests, go for it, man.
That's his college, that he loves that place. So I think it's kind of more of a, I get to do what I want because I have the freedom to do that. And man, if that's how you get to retire, hell yeah. Listen, when I get to retire and Notre Dame brings me on as a special chancellor to the priest, to the coach, like, okay, you think I'm gonna turn that down? Absolutely not. All right, that'll do it for the awards. Let's talk some college ball, bro.
Yes.
I'm back. Yeah. Lucky we're
and
back.
Better than ever.
I want to give a shout out to my duck too. Look at that beautiful thing. Yeah, my mom got me these. Okay, shout out to my mom. She got me a Cowboys one too, but he wasn't worthy of showing this week. But yeah, shout out to my Notre Dame duck. And shout out to my Irish. We've got some college scores. Let me put them up on the board. I'm too much talking, not enough working. Let me put that up. And then let's get to week 3. Boom. Arizona, number 20, got their butts whooped on Friday night. Shout out to that bet made by Ken. 31-7. Kansas State took care of business. Bro, I know you wanted to talk about that one.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, Arizona scored first, and you saw it, and you're like, okay, there we go. And then they never scored again. Credit to Kansas State, though. I will say, though, Arizona played in awful games in terms of their standard. They allowed a punt return for a touchdown and then threw an interception the very next drive. And then the last 3 drives of the game ended in turnover on downs. And so when you have that, you have no run game, and then you can't stop Kansas State's offense. That's kind of what you get. And so, hey, listen, I know we talked about this Arizona team and the hype surrounding this. This Kansas State team's looking really good. And so we're going to see what comes down the stretch coming in late in the season.
It is 100% on this guy right here for believing too much in Arizona and not realizing Kansas State does this every year, man. I think I closed FanDuel and that game off on the second interception on those last 3 drives. That's when I was just done and was like, all right, we'll make a new parlay tomorrow. Watching the entire weekend go up in flames on a Friday. But yeah, that was a big statement win by Kansas State, and now they're kind of in the driver's seat there in the Big 12. So we'll see how that shakes out. In other news, my Irish were back. Notre Dame 66-7. Whatever, dude. I get it. And everybody was like, dude, you're back. First of all, it was Purdue. Second of all, no, we're not. Third, you're not back when you lose to a MAC team and blow your whole season up in week 2. I don't care if they're ranked now, although it does look good that they're ranked, but I don't want to hear it. But we did take care of business. However, we lost 2 starting offensive linemen to an offensive line that had a career total of 6 starts to begin the season. So that's not going to be good for us this week. Our game of the week, number 1, Georgia, 13-12 over Kentucky. Whoo! And they were sweating this one out.
Yeah. All I got to say is, damn it, Kentucky. It was so close. They held Georgia to 262 yards of offense. 1 touchdown would have won them this game. They took a field goal before half on the Georgia 14 with 9 seconds left, which I guess in hindsight is bad, but at the time is fine. But they also had an 11-play, 61-yard drive end in a field goal. And then down 1 with 3 minutes left, and I screamed at this at your house, they decided to punt the ball.
And we said,
and I said, you're not getting the ball back. And you know what? With credit, they did with 9 seconds left.
Yeah.
So when you play Georgia You have to take those opportunities. And if you fail, you go, oh, well, we gave it our best shot. But you can't just go out whimpering because you can't stop Georgia's offense with 3 minutes to go, because you're not going to.
You let them off the hook. They are who we thought they were. Yeah. I 100% agree. This isn't the NFL where, I know, I don't care what it is. Go for it, man. Like Kentucky, your season is already blown up. Okay. Go get a win against the number one team, a team in the SEC that you just go for it. But, Texas took care of UTSA. We talked about that 56-7 behind Arch Manning's big game. Alabama blew out Wisconsin 42-10, as I predicted that it would not be worth talking about because Wisconsin is not real.
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, you're awful. You're awful. We enjoy way too much our former college coaches losing on this show. Ole Miss took care of Cowards Wake Forest 40-6. We already talked about them. And then, we should talk about it. Probably the other most entertaining of the game, the game of the day, Boston College 21, Missouri 27. Man, I got mad respect for this Boston College team.
Yeah, I mean, we knew it. We knew coming in that they were going to be tough, and they proved it exactly. Unfortunately, you kind of showed that it's still a young team. You gave up 2 turnovers in the second half, and that turned into 10 points for Missouri, and that made the difference. But you know what? It's a tough loss, but Bill O'Brien and Bill O'Brien teams are not going to be a team that's going to make this loss compound into other losses. They're going to come back, and they are going to be just as good as they were against Missouri. And so I have no worries about them. But Missouri, you grinded out a win that was a trap game, and it wasn't a killing, but it was still an impressive win.
Absolutely. Those are the first 21 points that Missouri has given up this year. That's a good win against a good scrappy ball club. Like, I like playing Boston College. I always liked Notre Dame playing Boston College for that reason right there. They're tough teams, especially a Bill O'Brien coach team. And then we'll get to Boston College this week. Moving on. Tennessee 71-0 over Kent State. Yeah, you believe in the Vols yet? Oregon 49-14 over Oregon State in the Battle of Oregon. Got to give a shout out to the Ducks. They finally got rolling and getting that offense moving. Miami took care of Ball State 62-0. Utah took care of Utah State 38-21. We did mention that. Oklahoma State 45-10 over Tulsa. Oklahoma took care of Tulane 34-19. In another big matchup in the SEC, LSU squeaked out a win in Columbia 36-33 over South Carolina. Damn it, I had Brian Kelly on the ropes.
Dude, just similar to Kentucky, but worse. South Carolina absolutely blew this one. Up 17-0 at the start of the second and 24-10 right before half. Gave up 19 unanswered points and then only had 109 yards of offense in the second half. Now, granted, starting quarterback Lenore Sellers did come out right before half, but that was such an absolute just blow. Insert blowing it, screwing it up, anything. And so absolutely terrible for South Carolina. But for LSU, they go up against a team that could hold them at least somewhat for 4 quarters. It's wraps. It's absolutely wraps.
Yeah, any team that can play defense and be consistent, they're going to take care of this LSU team hopefully very soon. Shout out to the South Carolina student section who was rushing down the elevators and the escalators to see the game-tying field goal, only for them to miss. And they didn't even make it down there. Wah, wah. Oh, that was a tough one. Michigan 28-18 over Arkansas State. That was a 21-0 game at half. 21-3, I think, at half. So that they struggled in the second half, did Michigan. We're starting to see that this Michigan team has definitely some cracks. Nebraska 34-3 over Northern Iowa. In Dylan Raiola, I trust. So that'll do it for week 3. But Let's move on to
I
week
also
4.
won barely.
Oh, yeah. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You did hang on there. Shout out to your Bearcats. We've got 4 big games this week. We've only got 2 teams idle. That would be number 2, Georgia, number 9, Oregon. Yes, we did see some movement in the rankings this week. Texas now takes over your number 1 spot for the first time this year. Tennessee moves up to number 6. Miami has moved up. Penn State dropped. And then down there at the bottom, we've got some new guys in, some new blood. Welcome to the top 25. Your Illinois Fighting Illini and Texas A&M. Definitely helping out my Irish by moving back up in the top 25. Northern Illinois move up and Nebraska moved up as well. Our big game kicks off on Friday. Number 24, Illinois at number 22, Nebraska. The Cornhuskers are back, baby. This is a fun game for me because we have got 2 really young teams looking to break out and try to be somebody. Let's go. Can the Cornhuskers avoid a hangover? Now get juice back. Or, I'm sorry, they avoided the hangover. Can they get juiced back up? Is Dylan Raiola as real as we like to believe? And for Illinois, when's the last time they had a game like this to get up for?
If you would have told me that, like, even before the season started, that in week 4 we'd see a top 25 matchup between Nebraska and Illinois, I'd call you a liar. I'd say you're telling me this so I can put bets to lose bets. That's all it would be. But in terms of this game, for Nebraska, Dylan Raiola is the real deal here. He makes some plays that will just make you just audibly say, wow, it's absolutely incredible. A beatdown of all 3 teams they've played. But really only Colorado was a team that we can call competitive because the other 2 really didn't give much. And honestly, for Illinois, it's very similar. They're led by quarterback Luke Altmaier and have beat some bad teams, but they did have a win against Kansas, although this looked kind of a little less stellar considering their loss to UNLV. This is going to be a close, evenly contested Big Ten matchup. So probably not the most entertaining game, but it's going to be a good one in terms of talent, and I am definitely going to tune in for this one.
Oh, absolutely. I'll have something late on this one. Stupidly, that ties into Saturday that gets ruined halfway through the 3rd quarter. But yeah, I like this. You did mention Luke Altmaier. Look out for number 1 target, Pat Bryant, too. That'll be his go-to guy here if they're going to get it done. I'm not going to lie, man. I'm high on this Nebraska team. I wanted to see what Raiola could do. And so far as a true freshman, from what I've seen, the kid looks legit. Excuse me. Our other big matchup, a Big Ten matchup, number 11, USC. Travel to the big house for number 18, Michigan. Another big test for Michigan to be in the national spotlight. Another test for this young USC team to see how they're coming along. I am going to say this. Michigan, your season is going to mean nothing if you're going to lose all of your big games. Okay? If all your wins are just Arkansas State and Purdue, it's not going to be a very good matchup there. The Wolverines are making a QB change this week. So we will see what that we'll see what that does. But I'm gonna be honest, before you even get to talk about this game, I don't have any doubt that Miller Moss is going to light this defense up if Quentin Ewers could do it. No disrespect to Quentin Ewers.
No, you're absolutely right. It's also weird to hear USC and Big Ten in the same sentence, but
I know.
Anyways,
for me to talk about him this nicely.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Listen. This is a game for Michigan. This is a game for Michigan to prove us wrong and bounce back. You're at home. You're playing a ranked team. Like, it's not going to happen. Good thing they made the quarterback change because quarterback Davis Warren has a 3-to-1 ratio in terms of interceptions to touchdowns. 6 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. Absolutely terrible. And the worst part is they don't have the caliber of running back or defense to make up for this mediocre quarterback play like they did in years past. And then you go to USC, obviously, like you said, Miller Moss. He looks like another USC quarterback that's going to go in the first round of the draft. And now, instead of just that, you have a much improved defense behind him. I hate making bold predictions like this because anything can happen in college football. But I think this is going to be another embarrassing loss for Michigan where they're just not going to be able to do anything. And it's just going to be another game where those fans just sit in Ann Arbor and just watch bad football for 4 quarters.
Yeah, listen, all my money. Listen, sprinkle. I know it's been a while since I used that. Sprinkle USC in on all your parlays this week. because I don't believe in this Michigan team. But, and as I was say, Arkansas State, I'm sorry, if Michigan's going to struggle in the second half with Arkansas State A&M, they're going to struggle with USC. So give me USC big here. Our other big matchup, a Big 12 matchup, number 12, Utah travels to Oklahoma to take on number 14, Oklahoma State. This is a major college football playoff test for both of these teams because a loss is going to be a real stumble in the Big 12 for both of these teams. It's going to come down to quarterback play for Utah, defense and O-line play for Oklahoma State. Cam Rising is expected to play this week. So we will have a battle of two seventh-year quarterbacks in Cam Rising and Alan Bowman. We got some vets out here, bro. They're older than you. If Cam Rising comes out and plays quarterback for Utah the way that he can, I don't think Ollie Gordon and Oklahoma State can win this game.
No, I think, like I said, that's the biggest key. If Cam Rising returns to pre-injury form, this is a big road win for Utah, and I think they just cruise. But that's a big if. You never know how people are going to come back from injuries. You don't even know if he's going to start. And let's say one of those two things happen. Oklahoma State has learned a lesson this season, and that is you cannot rely solely on Ollie Gordon. They squeaked out that win against Arkansas after finally kind of getting some balance with Alan Bowman. And let's say Utah struggles coming out either with or without Cam Rising. This is a game Oklahoma State can take advantage of and get a massive win on the road to potentially getting a Big 12 championship bid.
Now, listen, I'm just saying, be careful knocking out Cam Rising because all of a sudden Isaac Wilson comes in and lights you up because he's the future there for Utah. So, yeah, this is a big game for both teams, and the winner of this game is going to come out with a really, really great chance and a nice pathway to the Big 12 championship. Our last ranked game, number 6, Tennessee travels to Oklahoma to take on number 15, Oklahoma. Oklahoma better be ready is all I got to say because these Vols back down a beatdown of NC State with an historic beatdown of Kent State, and they're coming for this Oklahoma team that has been struggling to kind of get going and really assert itself this year. I'm going to be honest, I don't know if Oklahoma has the firepower to kind of be in this game the entire game. So unless this Brent Venables defense can show up and actually really be there and slow down this Nico Lamavela offense and that vaunted Vols offense, I worked on that and I still messed it up. Oklahoma's going to be in trouble. This is a statement game for Oklahoma in the SEC. Who are you this year?
Yeah, this is such a weird season. USC, Big Ten, Oklahoma, not enough firepower. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Tennessee is averaging 64 points per game, by the way. I looked at it was 69, 53, and 71 are the point totals right now. And like you said, Oklahoma's offense has been missing a little for the past weeks. I do believe that they're going to find some form against Tennessee. I believe that they're going to be able to get rolling, but Tennessee is just going to be way too much. This offense is probably the best in the nation right now. It's that LSU offense from a couple years ago that literally just nobody could stop whatsoever. I'm not saying that they're going to be the same as that LSU team, but my word, I can't think of an electric team like Tennessee right now. And Oklahoma used to be that team. I just don't think they got them in them. And I think Tennessee maybe not wins huge like they have been, but definitely wins convincingly.
I'm with that. Oklahoma better pray for some rain, just some bad weather. You know, one of those real sloppy games where, you know, it's a defensive battle and hope they can squeak one out. Because, no, other than that, I see Tennessee rolling. In some other quick news, the Buckeyes are back. They take on Marshall this week. Miami takes on South Florida after South Florida's almost upset of Alabama last week. My Notre Dame Fighting Irish take on another MAC team in Miami of Ohio. I'm not even here for this. They better just take care of business in the first quarter. Watch, it'll be a close game because of our two offensive linemen. And then Louisville, Georgia Tech. That is a sneaky good game. Who knows what Georgia Tech team we're going to get after the upset last week. Clemson, NC State. We'll also see what teams we get there. Well, it's time. This is a tough one this week. I'm not gonna lie. It's time for Big Bros, Big Bets. Yeah.
We might want to just end the series here.
Yeah,
It's a tough roll.
Yeah, this was a tough one. Arizona, thank you. Michigan, thank you. Alabama, Ole Miss, Notre Dame took care of business. If you put only those three together, you took care of some. Our touchdown anytime was just completely blown away too. Tyreek Hill, thank you, no. Brian Robertson Jr., thank you, no. Jonathan Taylor, thank you, no. Kyron Williams, thank you, no. Obviously, our run-in was blown away because six of those teams didn't. It was a mess. Okay, I didn't even check the upsets because I don't think any of those won either. No, actually, they didn't. Those were all losers. But we don't die on the upset Central Hill. You know that. But we're resilient. We're back. Okay, let's get rolling. We're back on the spread party. Okay, all right. Let's talk about that first. I like App State. Okay, give me that 7.5. I think Nebraska takes care of business. Sorry, bro. I think Houston upsets Cincinnati and wins.
Let's go. I get a win.
Give me USC because I put you in the bet parlay. Yeah. Give me USC in the big house. Give me Miami big. Give me Tennessee big. And give me South Carolina to bounce back big after a close game there. Your NFL run-in, it starts tonight. Give me the Jets. Give me your Brownies. Give me the Colts. Give me the Bucks. Give me the Lions, 49ers, Chiefs, and Bills. And then your upsets to look at, okay? I'm not putting no take on. I'm just giving you some fun numbers if you like the opposites. If you like Illinois to upset Nebraska, there you go. NC State over Clemson if you think NC State to finally decides to play football this year. Vanderbilt over Missouri if you think Missouri's on a big hangover. Georgia Tech, maybe they get it done against Louisville. Give me Arkansas over Auburn if you like Arkansas to bounce back. Arizona State over Texas Tech. That's a sneaky one there. That's a nice one. Because I'm a hater, Buffalo over Northern Illinois. If you like Buffalo to bounce back there, plus 460. Yeah, that's just straight hating right there.
Absolute.
It is a close
behavior.
game. It is a close game, but if you like Oklahoma State over Utah, plus 100. And then lastly, if you think somehow Oklahoma gets it done at home, plus 215. That'll do it for Big Bros, Big Bets. Lock them in. Lock in that 88.30, baby. Come on. All right, we're here to find mortgage payments and college tuitions, okay? We're not here for $10 bonus bets. That'll do it for me. It's time for some footy. I know it was awful. I'm gonna go find the comment because it was very important news. But however, that comment is way far up there. Oh, here it is. The Cleveland Soccer Group has officially purchased the land downtown, kind of near Progressive, for a stadium that will hopefully, in their minds, house a WSL team, a professional women's league team, and an MLS Next team, preferably I would assume they would hope for the Columbus Crew, which we would hope. But basically, they're the MLS's version of the D League, I think is a good way to put it. They're pushing hard for that to build a stadium there. I mean, they're looking to purchase the former Notre Dame College as kind of housing and practice facilities. Soccer is booming in Cleveland, baby.
Listen, that, and honestly, an MLS Next team is perfect for me. I don't got to stop rooting for FC Cincinnati. I get to watch and root for some soccer teams. It's perfect.
Give me a team in Cleveland so that I don't have to root for the Crew or Cincinnati, and I will be very, very happy because I will absolutely join that Eastern Conference Alliance, and I will break my own sports rule, which is to not root for two teams in the same professional league. But for the MLS, they don't count, so that I don't care. But yeah, that is big news for the city of Cleveland. We back that bid here on the Straub Sports Show. Bring that WSL team to Cleveland. We deserve one. Soccer is huge here in the state of Ohio, and it's massive in Cleveland and the surrounding areas. Our soccer teams speak for themselves on the high school level, and our colleges too. So that's big there. But let's switch over to the Premier League, baby. Let's talk some Premier League, baby, because I'm back. I'm back and better than ever. Cue the Eric Bischoff music, baby. 3 points, 3 goals. Manchester United, 3-0 over Southampton. Mateus DeLitt on the score sheet, the new center back. Alejandro Garnacho with a goal, and Marcus Rashford on the score sheet. Let's go, baby.
Yeah. Not to just rain on your parade at all. I don't think the Southampton team is going to get much more points than what Everton's going to get this season. They are bad.
Big time bad. I had that Everton prediction correct. I thought Southampton would make a move or two to keep them up. I actually thought they might go back and get James Ward-Prowse, but it's bad.
It's all bad.
I got the other two right because Wolves don't look good either. In some other big results, obviously, City took care of Brentford. Arsenal, a 1-0 win over Spurs. And then we also had some comebacks. That's you.
Oh, is that me?
That's you.
Yeah, some big comebacks. Like you said, Aston Villa came back from a 2-goal deficit to win 3-2 over Everton. I know this isn't a comeback, but Nottingham Forest comes with the absolute shocker of the century and beats Liverpool 1-0. Absolutely fantastic. Love to see it. Newcastle came back from an early 1-0 goal deficit to score two, one in the 75th and one in the 80th minute to win. Absolutely fantastic. And to just round it off, I had a late goal to beat Bournemouth 1-0 as I just had a very weird weekend in sports. All my teams won, but not in the way I wanted them to win. And so it wasn't great. Sports is confusing.
There's our Newcastle fan checking in. Yeah, you got to win, Pops. Well, I had a great soccer weekend. I mean, we whooped up on Southampton, and then we went into this week and put seven in a cup game. Okay, 7 in a cup game, baby.
No one needs to know who the goalkeeper was there.
Oh no, I think we should talk about America. Is that one in your Americans abroad? American.
We only do good things, Americans abroad. That's why the anthem plays.
American goalkeeper Gaga Slonina started for, I don't even remember who he played. We whooped him so bad. Yeah.
Barnsley.
Yeah, Barnsley. And gave up 7 Manchester United goals. Some were his fault. Not all were. A bunch of them were. Marcus Rashford with 2. Alejandro Garnacho with 2. Christian Eriksen was on the score sheet. Anthony even played and got a penalty.
I will say, he has played really well for Barnsley in League One. 2 man of the match performances. And he is one was in a 1-1 draw, which to get a man of the match performance when you've conceded a goal is pretty good. So he played well. He got you guys on the upswing. I'm not upset with him. I think he'll be okay.
Absolutely. Now this week, we got major game. We got a major game at the very top. Manchester City versus Arsenal, a very early top 2 clash, but one that could play a vital, pivotal role in the title race if Arsenal were to win and pip themselves a point ahead of Manchester City. Manchester City have an opportunity to separate themselves with an early, potentially 5-point lead, depending on what happens with Newcastle and Liverpool.
And hope they don't get relegated.
Right. Manchester United, we have Crystal Palace. We've got Bournemouth and Liverpool. But we do have another big one. We've got West Ham and Chelsea.
Oh, boy.
Oh, this just got very good.
Hey, listen. West Ham, very good team. A little inconsistent as we are. I do believe that this is a game we should be winning as Chelsea. But being Chelsea, this is a game we could lose 2-1, draw 1-1. Anything could happen. It will all depend on the first 15 minutes. And I like our team. I hate doing this. I believe we're going to come out with a win.
I think I might be riding with Daniel here. That would be a funny one. I do have a question for you, though. An overall question right now. I know it's very early on. Obviously, Manchester City, Arsenal. I mean, you see Liverpool and Newcastle United, Aston Villa, Brighton, all up there. We do expect Chelsea and Manchester United to kind of regain some form and move up higher into that 5th and 6th range. Could we be? Sorry. I gotta throw that up because Daniel's kind of right. Nobody likes your team. You don't even like your team right now. With as bad as Everton has looked, as bad as Southampton has looked, Wolves, who can't close games out, Ipswich, who have not been able to score goals like they were and get points, Crystal Palace, Leicester City. Could we be looking at one of the worst Premier League season in terms of how many teams will actually be battling for the title compared to how many teams are saving themselves to stay up?
See, my thought process on this might be one of the most fun seasons to watch. So you have, honestly, in my opinion, 6 potential relegation teams, which will make for entertaining regardless. But then I know we say it's a 2-team race. If I'm being honest, I know City's good. They're not the City that they've been the past couple seasons. I know it's early and everything like that, but you have City, you have Arsenal, Newcastle looks revitalized, Liverpool is always dangerous, Aston Villa is on the up and coming, Brighton's always a challenge. I'm not saying I'm going to challenge for a title contention, but I think we're going to be much improved than last season. Your middle teams may be kind of boring, but your top teams and your bottom teams are a lot more varied than they have been in previous seasons, where it was City most likely going to win the title, then the top 3 teams or the teams that just got promoted are going to get relegated. I think it's going to be a fun season. Maybe in terms of quality may not be as good, but in terms of entertainment value, I think is going to be a lot more fun to watch.
You changed my mind. It was just a question, but you changed my mind. I like that. So that'll do it for the EPL. But speaking of comebacks, we've got to talk some MLS. Let's talk about the Eastern Conference first. Miami is human as they drew with Atlanta United 2-2. FC Cincinnati took care of Minnesota United as they drew. You drew with the Crew, did you not? Yeah, you took a 0-0 draw in the.
So these most of these were from the Wednesday fixtures. Yes. We did have some Sunday fixtures, but this is just more the last game.
Yes. You did draw on the Hell is Real as you kept your 2-point advantage over the Crew as they did win. Your thoughts on the Eastern Conference and these results?
Yeah, I mean, Inter Miami, you're going to get this as the season kind of winds down. They're not going to play their guys as much or play as strong. But once the playoff comes, I have no qualms that they're going to really be as bad as they can be.
They ran through the cup last year, and those guys had played all of 4 minutes for the team.
Right. So I'm not worried about that. Kind of like I said last week, you're kind of in the 3-team race right now with Inter Miami, Cincinnati, and the Crew. You do have some potential upset candidates. I think Orlando could beat anybody they haven't given match, but they could also lose to anybody. The New York teams, I don't think they have enough firepower to really do anything. And then the teams kind of on the lower end, they have their ups, but I think there's more negatives on those teams to really kind of do anything. So it's kind of a top 4 with the top 3 being well above, and then Orlando kind of being that wild card. I think those are your real contenders here.
I agree. I have a question for you because I saw this. I think it was a good point that was made. If Inter Miami is to win anything this year, it is going to be because of Luis Suarez, not Lionel Messi.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say solely, but if we're talking percentage-wise, like who gets the most, I would say, yeah, Messi kind of had that injury post Copa, kind of had to take some time off, and Luis did kind of carry that team. But I think that kind of comes down to when playoff time comes around, because this is not a full season award. They obviously have a trophy for it, but you don't have your main trophy in MLS is not your regular season award. It's your playoffs. And I think that's kind of when it's going to come down to who it's going to be because of.
I agree. Now, come on now. I got some gloating to do. Western Conference. Now, I got a little bit of gloating, even though I took a L. We took El Tráfico, sorry. Yeah, I'm so great at this. We took El Tráfico. 4-2. We were down 2 goals early before the thunderous comeback arose, and we took care of that. And then we turned around and dropped points to freaking Portland. Not happy about that. But I get it. There's a hangover there. But I'm starting to separate myself, and I'm staying healthy. The only 2 things what was my goal for this Galaxy team at the beginning of the year? Stay healthy, make the playoffs.
Yeah. Listen, like I said for the East, like a 4-team race. Dude, the West is the Wild West right now. Obviously, your Galaxy, kind of lead the pack, but Real Salt Lake is always in form. LAFC could win at any time. Colorado is kind of up and coming. Seattle, Vancouver, Houston, and Portland, and even Minnesota could beat anybody in this kind of conference right now. And even Austin, if they sneak in, could get a good win. This is an absolute barn burner that is going to continue into the playoffs, and it's going to be a lot of fun because I feel like there's going to be a good amount of upsets coming, depending on kind of what team finishes where.
I do agree with you. I got to give love to this Sounders team every week just because of how bad they started, to not just have themselves in a playoff position, but somewhat comfortably up there in the 5th spot. Kind of try like that's an impressive season. We do not have the Inter Miami top tier talent, but I'm going to put my team in a 2-game playoff up there with any team in the league right now, with the way Ricky Pooch and the way Marco Royce and the defensive midfielder too, Cervinho, are playing too. It's phenomenal. His goal this week was just an absolute peach. So yeah. How many games left in the MLS?
If my memory serves me correct, which it probably doesn't, I would say you have about 4 games left.
Yeah, we're getting into the nitty gritty here. So, for a team like Austin, they really need to try to start making a push in the Eastern Conference. Obviously, you see that log jam down there with the Philadelphia Union, DC United, Atlanta, and Nashville, all within striking range of that last playoff spot there. So a big opportunity in these last couple games for teams to make a run in.
Yeah, absolutely. And then if you look at the other games, Columbus Orlando is a big game. Mostly because Columbus still has that game in hand. They could jump us in the rankings, but Orlando could potentially kind of help us there. In terms of other games, really not a lot, but
that
Philly and DC battling for that. Yeah, and then Atlanta with a big game against the Red Bulls to potentially come kind of in case that Philly DC United game ends in a draw, could jump both of them in that stands with a win.
And then on the Western Conference side, my Galaxy take on 6th place Vancouver. Austin takes on Houston to try to get themselves into playoff push there. And Minnesota looking to get 3 easy points against 12th Sporting Kansas City to kind of separate themselves from Austin. So excuse me. Excuse me. So some big matchups there on both ends of the playoff push there in the MLS. So that will do it for the MLS. That will do it for the EPL. It's time to strike up this man.
I will say.
Go ahead.
I will say real quick. I was going to do a graphic, but I realized there's 30 teams that I can't do a graphic. So there was Champions League. I will just run out some scores real quick. Juventus won 3-1 over PSV. Liverpool won 3-1 over Milan. Bayern won 9-2 over Dynamo Zagreb. Real Madrid won 3-1 over VfB Stuttgart. And then Celtic won 5-1. Dortmund won 3-0. City and Inter draw 0-0, which was a very contested game, which we like to see. Leverkusen won 4-0 over Feyenoord. Atalanta and Arsenal draw 0-0. Atletico Madrid win 2-1 over Leipzig. And Monaco with a massive 2-1 win over 10-man Barcelona. So some chalk results, but also some very fun results early on into this Champions League window. When I figure out how to make a graphic, I will make a graphic, but I don't know how to do that for 30 teams right now.
Yeah, that's a tough one. We'll figure that out. Maybe we'll go to when they get out of the group stage. We'll touch on that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we know what time it is. It's time to wrap up the show. I know he's got a long list today. Andrew Straub, it is time for Americans Abroad.
Thank you. So, who's start? We have Christian Pulisic, absolutely phenomenal week. He had a goal, assist, and a man of the match in a 4-0 win, and had a 2-minute goal in the loss to Liverpool. It was a really good goal, but yeah, unfortunately, that's kind of what happens. Brandon Vasquez, a goal and a man of the match and a 2-win for Monterrey, and an assist and a 3-2 win. Both of those guys absolutely flying right now. And Weston McKennie, a goal and a 3-1 win in Juventus winning the Champions League over PSV. I will say, this is the first time in American history that two American nationals have scored on the same day in the Champions League games. We are absolutely killing it right now. And guess what? Coming into October, we are going to do the culmination and the first debut matches of head coach Mauricio Pochettino. I am more than excited and cannot wait for this team to really utilize its potential and go to the World Cup.
USA, USA. And you kept it in the song. Well done, sir. That's about as good as it gets. Yeah, that was awesome to see multiple Americans on the score sheet scoring in important games. I mean, how awesome is that, bro? Let's get rolling. I'm excited. I'm excited again. My United States men's national team love is back to 100. I am locked in, and that is absolutely how we finish the show. I'd like to thank you all once again for joining us here on the Straub Sports Show here on the 216 Sports Network. You can follow all of us on Facebook, and you can like and subscribe on YouTube. Become one of our 5,000+ subscribers. What can you find on the 216 Sports Network? Where you can find a whole lot of everything. As soon as I get my stuff together, you can find 4th and 15 with Mel and Smooth, the Jay Rich Show, the Rulers Minute with Rico McGee. I want to give a big shout out to Rico McGee. He's a little down this week, dealing with some stuff. All our love to you, Rico. Get better, and we will be hearing from you soon. Outside Interference and the Straub Sports Show. Where can you find the Straub Sports Show? You can find us everywhere. You can find us on Twitter at Straub Sports. You can find us on TikTok at the SBSS. On Instagram, Straub Sports Show, and of course on Spotify, Straub Sports Show. I promise I will be updating that this week. So there will be, I think, 3 episodes to be popping up on Spotify if you need to catch up. Make sure you follow our guys, our friends. Start with Austin. Create Your Own Wave 2021 on Instagram. Make sure you find the apparel, CYOWapparel.myshopify.com. It's getting cold out. My man cooked up some hoodies, and they are sick. Please, 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 please go check them out. I get to see one in person at work tomorrow. All of you. And we broke the news, so I want to bring it again. A big shout out to the Falls Rapids. Me and Straub are now the official broadcast team of the Falls Rapids. Make sure you look out for us coming up after the new year. As we get into the warmer months, we're going to start to be doing that. But starting this weekend, I will be doing some stuff. They got some lifting sessions. I'm going to start our interviews with the coach. We'll be starting our interview process, so look out for those things all over the place. You will find that stuff on our Instagram page heavy, and make sure you follow the Falls Rapids on Facebook and Instagram. You will see all our stuff there, and make sure you look out for those games exclusively on the 216 Sports Network. Thank you, Pops. As always, thank you, Mama. Love you as well. Drew, final shout outs.
Yes, thank you everyone for watching, listening, however you consume this crazy podcast. Some shout outs, some, I guess, notes at the end of the show. Derek Carr has officially been fined for that Michael Jackson impression where he grabbed his nether regions during the win against Dallas. So that's funny to see. Also, if you want to kind of continue in the glory and gloating of us making the playoffs, there is videos all over social media currently of these celebrations, so go check those out. And finally, if you aren't like my brother and I, and you actually want to get out of the house this weekend instead of watching some football, the Cleveland Pickle Fest is this Saturday from 12 to 6. And listen, I will be there. If you see me there, shout me out, say what's up. I will say hi. I will take a picture. I will do all the celebrity stuff if you want to see me. But have a good weekend, everybody.
Wear the polo. Since you did it, my final shout outs too, because I forgot something. A big shout out. Boston College is playing their 9/11 remembrance game, the red bandana game, this weekend. Take a couple minutes to seek this game out. Go look at the uniforms. They are absolutely amazing. I got to take a peek at them and see them on social media. They are absolutely awesome. Oh, and I'm being humble here. I want to give the big shout out to my son's U5 and 6 soccer team because we are 2-0. We are whooping butt, and we are having a whole load of fun on the field as well. Yeah, that was, listen, this is my show, my shout outs. Thank you all for rocking with us again. A big shout out to our Guardians who clinched today. Big day in sports for us. Hey, have a great time. Thank you for rocking with us, however you do it, whether you're in the comment section, whether you live with us, whether you run us back. We appreciate the absolute hell out of every single one of you. So on behalf of me and my brother, thank you for joining us again on the Straub Sports Show. And please remember to love yours.